Welcome back to the channel, y'all. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified every time a new video goes up on this channel. I'm not going to hold y'all, family. I'm just going to get right to it. And I'm going to connect the dots quickly. I'm wondering if Big U's son just got killed over something that has to do with Nipsey Hussle losing his life. There are a lot of people out there who believe that Big U was behind Nipsey Hussle losing his life. Word on the street is that Nipsey got so big, he thought he was too big for the program, and Big U has been heard saying many a times, nobody is bigger than the program. So people are wondering, was a hit put out on Big U's son because they couldn't get to Big U? With that said, it's just wondering, and that's just what I'm thinking out loud. I also did not know that Big U had a son that plays in the NFL as well. Condolences to the family. They're going through a lot right now because Big U himself was taken off the streets by the feds, and he is currently incarcerated, bail denied, and he is looking at a lifetime behind bars. All this happened with him losing his freedom and facing life in prison to his son losing his life on these streets. All happened after Nipsey Hussle lost his life. I seen one comment where somebody said, Nipsey's spirit is not resting in peace. Nipsey's spirit is spinning the block. Let's get into it. A deadly Halloween shooting happened, and the headline said that the son of Rolling 60s Crip leader, business mogul, record executive mogul, Big U Henley was gunned down in LA. Damn. Wow. Well, Jabari Baby Huey was what he was called. Henley, the son of Rolling 60s Crip leader Eugene Big U Henley, had died at the age of 34 years old. Jabari was shot to death on Halloween night at the intersection of 69th and Figueroa Streets in South Los Angeles, Vermont, Slauson neighborhood just after 11 p.m. He died at the scene. Whoever did it made sure it was done. Witnesses told the police that they saw Jabari approaching a vehicle when persons inside of the vehicle just opened fire on him. He was approaching the vehicle, and persons inside of the vehicle opened fire on him. That's kind of strange. I thought it would have been more like somebody ran up on him sitting in a vehicle. If he's approaching the vehicle, either he was approaching the vehicle to do something to somebody, or he was approaching the vehicle because it was somebody he knew. So he never expected what happened to him. So the paramedics from the Los Angeles Fire Department actually declared him dead at the scene, according to news reports. The suspect, after he let off the rounds, left the scene and has not been seen or identified. It's unclear if the suspect and Jabari knew each other. The motive is unknown. This is the United States of America. Police have not said if the shooting was gang related yet. Many people are speculating that it has to do with the program, gang politics, business, street business, gangsterism. The thing about all this too is there are cameras everywhere. So whoever was driving that vehicle, it's not going to take long for them to track the vehicle in reverse. When that vehicle first came down what street and then turned on what street and then ended up on what street before it parked, it won't be long before they figured out who actually got into the vehicle initially and drove the vehicle from its original address all the way to where it was sitting on the street when Baby Huey walked over to that vehicle and got shot. I have full confidence that in a minute, this individual will be behind bars. Eugene Big U Henley Jr., identified by the U.S. Department of Justice as a longtime leader of the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crip street gang, was recently indicted on his own federal charges by a federal grand jury. Those indictments cover multiple serious charges, including racketeering, robbery, fraud, extortion, tax evasion, embezzlement of charity funds, just the long list of charges that Big U facing behind bars right now. Of course, Big U tried to get out from behind bars, and the feds have said, nope, you're not getting out. You super active in this gang world, and you try to make it look like you went legit, but you didn't. All your business was just to cover up the fact that you top of the line gangster. Not to mention, over the years, if you watched Big U do certain interviews, you could pick out from the interviews that he was still very much out here active in some manner because of his language and the things he said. I don't know why people get on social media and say so much knowing you're involved in certain things that goes against law enforcement grade. They're paying attention to social media. They're coming for you. Nobody is bigger than the program. People got to check in with him. I'm not saying they got to check in, but I'm saying things don't go right for them when they don't check in. What kind of language is that? That's kind of like telling the police that you are involved in extortion. Basically, in reverse, what you're saying to the law is that when people come to your city that are famous, if they do not check in with you, you send your goons out to get to them, to extort them, to scare them. And so they have to check in with you. And then, of course, you have a whole gang of rappers. Every time they go out to LA, they mention checking in and who they checked in with. You know what's crazy? White people, business people, Asians, whatever else other than blacks, they float freely through the city. They don't check in with anybody. So the only people who have this whole check-in thing, if you don't check in, things go badly for you and I can't save you and you can lose your life. There's black people. Black people extorting black people. They're not extorting anybody else. Anyways, Henley was one of 18 members. This is Big U. Big U was one of 18 members of the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crips, the same set that Nipsey Hussle belonged to, suspected in a long list of crimes, including all the others I just told you about, plus drug trafficking, conspiracy, and firearm offenses. Henley allegedly masterminded a criminal operation that investigators called the Big U Enterprise. You know how the feds do when they make up a name for you, the Big U Enterprise, and you get hit with a federal grand jury indictment, he's going to have to fight his way up out of hell. One thing I just found out is that he has a son in the NFL, and his son in the NFL actually did a video yesterday where he talked about his brother and how hard he's taking the news that his brother just lost his life. He might need his son to put some of that NFL money on the books for him for some good lawyers to get up out of prison because they are trying to give him life behind bars. He's also suspected of embezzling donations to Developing Options, which is an anti-gang charity that he founded, but which prosecutors says he actually used it as a front for fraudulent purposes and to insulate its members from suspicion by law enforcement. Ain't it ironic? You are known as a big time head of a gang organization, the Rolling 60s Crips. Not probably, the most famous set of Crips out of the Bloods and Crips joint out of LA. You are known as the head honcho in that. And then you get out there and you say, I changed my life. I don't do that anymore. As a matter of fact, to give back for all the damage I've caused over the years, I am going to form a anti-gang charity. And I'm going to run this anti-gang charity. And that anti-gang charity generated millions of dollars in donations and whatever else, right? But the feds are saying, we have been investigating him for a while. And that anti-gang charity that he runs is not actually anti-gang. It is actually his same gang that he masked right in front of law enforcement as a anti-gang charity, but it's filled with actual gangsters making gangster moves, doing gangster things still. Man. So he's also suspected in the killing, a 2021 killing of an aspiring rap musician who was signed to his record company on Unique Music, according to prosecutors. So Big U is looking at life in prison. It is said that the individual, the rapper who got killed, was killed in 2021, who was signed to his music label. Nipsey Hussle was signed to Big U's label. Off the top, right now, I don't know when Nipsey was killed. I could obviously go look it up. You go look it up too. But I was told it wasn't Nipsey. It was somebody else. Either way, it was done because he thought he was bigger than the program. You know, when you start to get big, you start to say, I don't think this record label is fitting for me anymore. I need something bigger that could take me farther. So I'm looking at exhausting my contract and going to sign with Sony or going to sign with whatever else. This is where the big dogs will put their foot down and be like, bitch, I got you in the game. I got you through the door. So now that you're ready for the big contracts, you not signing no big contract without me attached to it. And if you try to, we laying you down. The DOJ, or Department of Justice, alleges that Big U used his influence and his gang connections to expand his power through violence, through fear, through intimidation, targeting both businesses and individuals. He has publicly denied all these charges, claiming they are attempts to assassinate his character because he's a good person who changed his life a long time ago and has been doing good things. If he is convicted, he actually faces a statutory maximum sentence of life in federal prison. Man. And while he's in there fighting all that, they took his son out on Halloween. One in the NFL, one in the grave. Back to my original question when I started this video. Do you think that Nipsey Hussle's death has something to do with Big U's son being taken out in these streets? Do you even think that Big U has something to do with Nipsey Hussle's death? Don't forget what Charleston White said, and don't forget who Charleston White is. I'll leave you with that right there. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you on the next video. It's BrainFLoTv. I'm out. Peace.